Hello, how are you doing? Mastering the stock market students. So, in this video, I wanted to show you guys some updates that we made onto the course. Now, we added a lot and we're only 15% in near completion. So, everything I'm about to show you, there's about to be more. So, as you can see, there's a lot more items here. I'm going to start off really quickly by going through not each and every one of them, but just the highlights over what we have. For example, if you want to look up interactive charting tools, you click on the technical and fundamental data analysis. This essentially pulls up a chart, which it'll allow you to compare other stocks you want to look at, or let's say you want to look at technical analysis indicators like the RSI. In the course, we're going to go over what this means and how to day trade. But essentially, 30 means it's oversold and 70 means it's overbought. And we can add even more indicators. Let's look at the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. And what you can see is when the blue when the blue line is above this gold line, it's positive momentum versus not. And then you can change different time schemes. And again, this is Apple, okay? You can click whatever stock you want. Let's say you want to look at Clover Health. This is Clover. Let's say, so we're going to go ahead for this example. We're going to keep it generic and pick a generic stock, Apple. Now, what you can do here is you can go to the right, and you can do this for Clover too, any stock you want. You could go in and take a look at the earnings, more data for that, the dividends that it pays out, the annual and quarterly, very quick, snap, like a good snapshot. But then if you want more financials, would you look at that? You have access to the income statements, balance sheet, cash flow, and some more statistics that are extremely important, such as the return on equity, quick ratio, current ratio, which we will go over this whole thing in our course, and how to read these financial statements. And if they don't have them there, how to go to the SEC filings from your lifetime access to your Al Stock Alerts from Brain Machine, and go specifically to go get and find that access, right? So if you look, for example, at, let's say, the balance sheet, we have total current assets. You want to take a look at that. As soon as you click on that, it graphs it for you. Let's say you want to do your intrinsic value calculation. Well, these are the numbers that you would be using for your free cash flow when you do your intrinsic value calculation, which we updated as well, which you can see here. It looks a lot more sophisticated now, where you can put the ticker and share price, and it'll give you the percent upside. And then the free cash flow goes here, okay? And you would get that from here, or if you want to use the Morningstar, which has 10 years worth of data. So there's a lot of things you can do here. We're not just done with that. We can also look at the total revenue of the business and look at how it's tracking year over year or quarterly and graph it through that, or just a simple overview. Likewise, for your technical analysis, you can see there's a strong sell right now based off of the technicals, and analysts have a buy rating. Now you can go more technicals, and this is, again, all directly from alstocktrades.com. You can essentially see all of the indicators that we have, the moving averages that essentially calculate and the Fibonacci's, the pivots, and the support and resistance 1, 2, and 3. All of this will be included all in here. And you could look at the minute, 5, 30, the 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, etc. You get the point. So there is essentially that, and there's more. You can look at what the company is, click on it, go to the company website, learn more about the company. I picked Apple on purpose because everyone knows Apple. Now, we can go ahead here now and go back and just look at the stock screener. So if you go to stock screener, you essentially have your own screener here, and it's preset to balance sheet by looking at metrics that I think are important, but you can go ahead and change them. Let's say you are more of a technical analysis trader, so you can go in and take a look at, oscillators or trends, and you can look at different types of MACD signals and organize it through that direction. Now, personally, I like the balance sheet. You can add a couple more things by opening up filters, by looking at the financials. So let's say you want a company with above an 8% return on equity, a current ratio above, let's say, 1.5. You can look at a debt to equity of under 0.5. And we can go ahead and take a look at this, and you can see this company track. You can see the companies that are tracking along. Let's go ahead, and I want to make sure we get this into perspective. There it is. So now you can see these are all undervalued companies right now. Looking at Google, especially Meta, all of these, and you can take a look at all of these current assets, debt, and you can then take this, look at the financials back on the technical and fundamental data analysis, then go to your intrinsic value calculation to find your own price target and do more research on our stock alerts. There's a lot, okay? And we're going to go ahead and go over those through the courses, right? And then you can take a look at economic calendar. Like, for example, today I talked about how tomorrow, June 14, because today is 13, the NFIB Business Optimism Index will be publishing. We already know the prior, and it'll sometimes give you the forecast, and it'll give you the actual. Let's track back to the CPI data on June 10th. CPI data came in. We were forecasted to have 8.3. Well, it came at 8.6. You see how powerful this is? So you can understand how economic reporting schemes affect the stock market and understand how these work all together. And let's say if you don't understand what this means, you can click on it and it'll give you a short description of what it is. Again, this is an educational platform, and we want to make sure by the time you walk out of this, you're going to have a really strong understanding of the market. Okay. Then let's say you want to go into, again, we have this at our stock alerts, but to include it here, you can look at your top gainers. Like, for example, today the market was going down, but you had stocks over 100%. You can look at these things, and you can make the stock screener look for pre-market run-ups. These are all the losers. Okay. Now that we talked about this, let's go ahead and talk about some stuff down here. So we mentioned the intrinsic value calculator. I want to go ahead and show you a couple cool things here. So we can take a look at a recession predictor, which is right here. These are interactive tools and graphs to help you. As you can see, whenever this tracks down to the black line, you get a recession. So you have these tools. You can zoom in on a specific year, analyze the year, and see trends for yourself. You can look at the inflation rate, looking at how that tracks along and how a recession plays into effect. You can look at the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, which you can see right now we're at lows that we haven't seen since 2011 and 2008. You can analyze these and really take a look at them and see where they track along, draw some lines if you want. All these components, and then we have a definition of what it all means and references for you to expand your knowledge. We also have personal savings rate, which you can see starting to go down. People are probably living on their credit cards now. And a couple of new calculations that you may not have seen. So I want to point them out to you. We have an intrinsic sell calculator, which will be adding more content to it to show you how to effectively use it to calculate should you sell your stock based off of your current tax rate. You can then also, we have access to the stability calculator, which then gives you can graph what essentially is the company you're looking at over time by the EPS, book value, or return on equity. And if you don't know what these mean, we have definitions here for you as well. Okay, so overall, there's a lot to process here, and we're not even 15% completed. Again, this is a one-stop shop. We have full access option data, dark pool data, and everything you need on the Our Stock Alerts platform, which is included lifetime access to your Mastering Stock Market course, which is this platform. You can calculate any stock you want. This website's up 24/7. And so if you want to know more about this and on how to use it effectively, drop a comment. Also, for people that want to sign up, we are offering an expiring coupon code link down below for people that are interested. Well, it's a privilege and honor. I will see you on the next one.